Ryan. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being part of our presentation today. We're going to talk about how to take the risk out of the regulation Reg BI as it relates to documentation and keep the best interest of your clients on board. So, having said that, I do have to do a brief disclosure that I am no longer a chief compliance officer, even though I still hold my FINRA licenses. But the opinions expressed today are simply that your firms will provide for each of you what their policy and procedures will be for Reg BI documentation. So, having said that, let's get right to it. I appreciate everybody being on the call today, and I did my due diligence on our disclosure form. So, Reg BI is, in my opinion, a conglomerate of a lot of regulations that have come from the past. It basically establishes a standard of conduct for both broker dealers and for RIAs. Not only when you're making a recommendation, but technically before you are actually making that recommendation. So we want to talk about the four tenets of what this Reg BI regulation is all about. So it's always, and a lot of this isn't new, but this regulation goes a bit deeper in some segments. And again, in my opinion, disclosure. We always need to make disclosures. This is nothing new. However, I believe that the regulation, and based on what your firms are requiring for each of you in their policy and procedures, is that you go deeper into the disclosure. The regulation is basically stating that at or before the time of a recommendation, regardless of what the recommendation is about, that you document why you're making the recommendation and what the relationship that you may or may not have with that particular investment as well as that client. When you're doing an obligation to client care, that's the second tenet of this, you have to make sure that your client, in basic layman terms, understands the risks versus the rewards. What I find interesting about this regulation is that you also have to be very clear about the fees and the cost associated with this regulation. So along the way, it's not just the first time you may be transitioning a prospect to a client, but along the relationship of this client, you have to keep the client informed of all of these obligations and keeping the client aware of what is happening and why you are recommending either a change or a new recommendation, or anything that has to do with the client's activity. Also, what's interesting is the conflicts of interest. The reg states that you have to avoid conscious and unconscious potential breaches of best interest. Well, if you're unconscious about a conflict of interest, I don't know how you can document that, but I'm sure that's something that the firms will clarify further. Recommended investments and or philosophies can only can make sure that you're not proprietary in or only commission. So you can't, if you have a new client or an existing client, those of you that offer proprietary investments, this regulation is stating that you cannot only offer proprietary regulations. And compliance is an ongoing issue. You have to always make sure that you're following the policy and procedures of your firm, but ensure that the best interest of your client is met at all times. So those are basically the subset of standards that this regulation is stating that advisors must do come June of this year. So how do we make it easier for you? How do you become much more efficient? You have to do more within less time in today's very busy world. So one of the ways that you can do it is, instead of typing in your notes or calling, if you're out on the road, calling into one of your assistants or back office team and dictating to them over the phone what they need to put into the client's account. Or even some of us may be old, what I consider old school before we had all this technology, is having a client file and implementing your notes in Scribble as you're meeting with the clients. We all know it's a pretty well-known fact that almost 2/3 of your memory is lost within an hour after meeting or having a call with a client. That could really be challenging for those of us that have many things on our plate, which most advisors do in today's world. So, in an effort to alleviate the cumbersome task of completing all of your documentation, especially as it relates to the standards that this regulation is saying that we need to keep up with, we have a solution that we think will be very beneficial, or actually we know is very beneficial because most of our clients tell us so. So within a few minutes, you can pick up your phone or use an app and dictate your meeting notes. You can actually follow a template that we could provide for you that shows what these regulations are mandating for you. And you can fill in your talking points specifically as you're meeting with a client or right after your meeting. So we don't record meeting notes. What you want to do is at the end of the meeting, as soon as you can, dictate the key points of what happened in that meeting. So we all know that you can speak. Most of us can speak faster than what we can type. So it's a quick way of documenting what just happened in your client conversations. We also have the ability within certain CRMs to integrate your notes directly into a CRM. We work with Salesforce and Redtail, Wealthbox, and a few others as well. However, we just came out with a new technology because advisors had said to us, I want all of my technology in one place where I don't have to toggle between platforms and make myself crazy. So we want to make it simple. We've created a new technology. In fact, Redtail has it on their dashboard currently. It's called the Copytalker, but it eliminates the phone or even using an app. By the simple push of a couple of buttons within the Redtail platform, you can, using whatever device, whether it be your phone, your laptop, your tablet, your desktop, doesn't really matter. Just push of a button, you can speak your notes, and it'll go exactly where you want it to go within the Redtail platform. We're hoping to bring that to other CRMs soon, but this is a brand new technology that came out. And it basically can sit either within a dashboard or within your CRM system. So that is known as the Copytalker. As you are going through and getting accustomed to what your firms are requiring of you as it relates to the regulation and the best interest platform, you need to realize that your efficiency and the extent of your good copious notes are critically important. And I did want to make mention that these standards are also for RIAs, independent investment advisors. What this standard does, it clarifies the other four tenets that RIAs are held to. It's the duty of care, the duty to seek best execution, the duty to act and provide advice and monitoring over the course of the relationship. It's not a one-time, one and done. And the duty of loyalty to your clients. So having said all of that, this is not specific. There was some controversy that it was only for Reg BI, it was only for broker dealers, but that indeed is not the fact, as I'm sure most of you are aware. So in an effort, again, to become more efficient, more proficient, to document better standards of notes when you're in a client meeting or you're on a call, there's a couple of ways that you can go about it. You can do, voice recognition, which I don't know if any of you are like me, but when I'm in my car and I'm using the maps and Siri, I have to repeat myself several times over, which is quite frustrating for them to get it right. Eventually, they may get better than where they are, but right now they're not. You can utilize human transcriptionists, but the key that you have to be cognizant of is, where are those transcriptionists? Are they overseas, where the standards are not as high as they are in the US, if they have any standards at all? There's are some language barriers as well to consider. Or the platform that we suggest is something that we do, which I'm not sure there are many firms that do this, but we're quite proud of it. And coming from the background that I come from is one of the reasons why I elected to take this role at Copytalk. Our platform, our service level standard is that all our transcriptionists do work within our facilities that are all US based. They're controlled and monitored very much like a FINRA testing center would be. They're on our computers. They have no internet access. We have very heavy training and due diligence on their backgrounds, as well as our security, privacy, and protocols are pretty much second to none. We do not allow home-based transcriptionists ever. They must come into our facilities to work. And what that does, it ensures your privacy and your security, in not only for you, not only for your firm, but for your clients. Our privacy and standards are pretty much second to none in the industry, and we back that up through several ways. Number one, we're the only mobile transcription company that is not only a member of the Shared Assessments Organization, which sets standards in third-party vendor risk management. Some of us, including myself, as Ryan mentioned earlier, are certified as third-party risk professional. It's a standard that shows that we put our money where our mouth is, basically. We have also just implemented a very heavy investment into our technology with upgrading our equipment and service, but we've also made a move to a state-of-the-art co-location for all of our backup services. If any of you ever visited the Pentagon, that's what it's like getting into our co-location. It's quite impressive. So I'm very proud of those security protocols that we've taken, because security and privacy of your client's data for you as well as for your firm is of utmost importance to us. So at this point, Ryan, I don't know if you have any questions for me, but
Sure.
we can do a quick Q&A, and then we can give you a nice little offer for those of you that are on the call today to try our service.
Thank you, Maree. Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll take some questions from our audience. Members, please be sure to type your questions into the Q&A box on your control panel. I know we do have a question, Maree. What sets Copytalk service apart from others?
Well, I think some of the reasons that I just previously mentioned. First of all, our transcriptionists are located in our facilities on our equipment, and it's all controlled and monitored. Our transcriptionists are vetted from a background standpoint. They are highly trained within the financial services community with terms and knowledge of what is expected of them, and we implore the best of the best. That's the first part. Our security and privacy protocols are second to none in the industry, in my opinion. Again, that's my opinion. But I think because we are certified as third-party risk professionals, we are members of Shared Assessments Organization that does set standards. So we work with some of the most prominent financial institutions across the United States and Canada. So they vet us all the time. We welcome their auditors to come in here at any point in time. They can come to our facilities. They can go where our transcriptionists are. They can try and hack into our computers, and they try to, and they inspect what they expect from us based on the security and privacy protocols that we set. So again, because of my background, I take this very seriously. And in today's world where, you can use, voice recognition and the Siris and the Cortanas and the Alexas of the world, which is fine. But when you're in a regulated industry, the standards are set that much higher. So we're very proud of what we do here. We're very proud of how we do it. We make sure that our customer service team are the best of the best. They're here to help you. When you call us, we answer the phone and we deliver upon our service level deliveries. And that is all. Our role is supporting our clients and making their role easier for them as far as efficiency and privacy and security is concerned as it relates to documenting your notes.
Thanks, Maree. We do have a couple questions that kind of merge into one. If what I'm going to try to do, because I've got Robert, David, and Sandy. Their questions are all along these lines, so I'll try to get it all in one question here.
Okay.
So the main question is do you integrate with CRMs? And the second question goes into, is it additional cost for Redtail? And the third one is does this integrate with Redtail?
Yes. Oh, okay. Yes, we do integrate with several CRMs. The main ones are Redtail, Salesforce, Wealthbox, a couple of others. We have a few others queued up for 2020 initiative. There is no additional cost to do our traditional integration or with Redtail and the Copy Talker, which comes up right through the Redtail platform on your advisor dashboard. There's no additional cost for that either. If you're a Redtail user and either an existing Copytalk user or a new Copytalk user, you can elect to do our traditional integration, or you can elect to do Copytalk, to use the Copytalker right on their platform. It's up to you. You can call us by phone, you can by any phone, you can use our apps, or you can choose the Copytalker as it relates to Redtail. And there's absolutely no additional costs for any integrated CRMs that we work with.
Very good. And if you could just talk briefly, Maree, just what transcriptionists are. I think there just might be a little bit of a question there about that. I know it's kind of new to me too.
What can you ask what transcriptionists are?
Yeah, how that actually works. Just a brief overview of the transcriptionist.
Okay, a transcriptionist is highly trained with us that comes into one of our facilities. They basically put all their personal belongings away and they sit at they select a station to sit at and they log in. They have access to a queue. So when you make a dictation, it comes up to our service. It's secure, double encrypted, all of that good security stuff. So that comes into a queue. When the transcriptionist is ready, they show that they're ready, and they're going to get your transcription. So they don't know who you are. They don't know what company you work for. They only know it's verbatim dictation. So if you say to us the term operator, as you're making dictation, which is super cool, you can say, operator, delete that last sentence. Or operator, this is a letter format. So whenever you want to give or operate, John White is spelled Whyte. So you can spell names, which we highly recommend in the transcription. And using the term operator tells our transcriptionist to stop typing. They are getting some kind of command from you. Or you can say operator, indent and bold the next 3 sentences. Whatever it may be, you can give them that command. So they have a list of common terms that they work with. There are times where they can, if you're speaking very slowly, or you can pause the service as you're making a dictation, they can speed it up or they can slow it down. Our service level delivery is that our transcriptions We'll come back to you within 6 hours or less on our basic service, or if you need it expedited, we have an upgrade that can give it back to you in 2 hours or less, depending on your practice and your needs. But the transcriptionists go through a very rigorous training period prior to them taking on any of your dictations. They have to meet certain standards at first before they're allowed to work on our clients' transcriptions.
Good. One last question here. What's the typical turnaround time, Maree, for a transcription?
We operate from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So from that time period, it's 6 hours or less on our basic service. Again, if you need expedited as a courtesy to our clients, if you have something that you need right away as an exception, all you have to do is call your accounts exec or call our customer service team and ask them, just give them the subject line of your dictation and ask them to expedite it. And they have the authority to push that up in the queue, and you can get it back in 2 hours or less.
Very good. Thanks, Maree. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the group before we wrap up today?
Well, for those of you that have taken the time, I hope this was somewhat helpful. I know it's a quick review of Reg BI and how the Copytalk can help you become more efficient in your practice by speaking your notes as opposed to typing them, whether you're on the go or you're in your office. So we have a special offer. If you go to copytalk.com/roaring20 in honor of 2020, we're going to give you a discount of $20 per month. From our regular rate is $84.95 per month per user. And we have unlimited service, which means that in a 30-day period, whether you make 20 dictations or 120 dictations, your rate does not change. It is a flat rate, which I think we're only one of very, very few companies that can offer that again. So instead of $84.95, we're giving you $20 off per month to $64.95 per month, and it's guaranteed for the first year of service. Again, it's copytalk.com/roaring20 will bring you to that discount. Or if you'd like to give us a call, you can call our client services at the number shown on the screen there, 1-866-267-9825. Hit option 2, and you'll get to speak to one of our fabulous client service representatives.
Great. Thank you, Maree. We appreciate that. And thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Please be sure to check out this and other great webcasts on the Finlocity Video Vault. Until next time, have a great day, and thank you for supporting Finlocity.
Thank you all. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Maree.